And you'll kind of feel that skin roll away, and it just rolls that skin right off of your cloves so they're peeled. So if you need whole cloves stuffed down in your meat, you need whole clove to do your mashed potatoes. I told you you didn't have to be the smartest tool in the shed. But also then slicing thinly. And this tool you sell as a set with this. You can buy them separate, but don't get them together. This is like the eye pencil sharpener for garlic. That's what it looks like. So this goes in, it has two little hoppers. Fill it up with as much garlic as you want. Let's see if our tomatoes are... What you want these to look like are little wrinkled old men laying there. Just saying. They're not quite there, but we're going to forge ahead. So then, to put your garlic in, you're just going to stick this in. You're going to give it a turn, and it's going to paper thinly slice that garlic right out. So you have that
goodness. Wow.
Right? Love this way. I know, right? So easy. And then sometimes you'll get it all stuck here because you're pressing too hard because you're in a hurry like me. Just scrape it off, and you're good to go. Dishwasher safe, garlic peeler, garlic slicer. Just cook this for just a few minutes till you kind of start smelling the garlic. And then we're going to end up putting in a couple other cloves. Now, if you're not ready for this, when it's ready for you, always remember you can take it off of the burner and you can continue a little bit later. So we're going to get our noodles ready, and I'm going to use our large stainless steel bowl. What I have in here is some shredded eggplant, one shredded yellow squash, one shredded zucchini. We're going to add another zucchini, and we're going to add another squash. And this is called the veggie strip maker. And I love this because it makes quick work of stripping any of those veggies that you want to use instead of spaghetti noodles. So we're going to insert this, and it has two little rubber feet, so you can use it up like this. You can hook it onto your bowl. I'm just going to whack off both ends here, and then super easy. And it's not, you know, if you jam your finger on there, you can cut it, but it's not like going to slice your fingers off. Lay it down straight, and it's just a back and forth. When you get to the seeds, it has a different sound. You'll know it does. There they are. You want to flip it over, and you want to go on to the next side. You'll kind of hear it start grating those seeds. Flip it over, and go on the next side. So you can now substitute your zucchini, your eggplant, your squash for your pasta. The other thing is it will rice an entire head of cauliflower in no time flat, so that you can do that cauliflower fried rice if you want. I think our pot's ready. We're going to add in our 2 cloves of garlic. So whole clove in, peel and all.
Have to peel them off?
No, no peel. Just going to give it a press. I know, right? Now it comes with this really cool little tool that's missing. I call it the Barbie brush. So you're going to use the little Barbie brush. You're going to scrape it off with the scraper side. You're going to poke it with the official poker side. And then it kind of pops up that skin so you can pop it in the garbage. And then you can go right on to your nice next fresh clove of garlic. So it makes using that garlic super, super simple. And you don't want to leave this garlic in too long. Just cook for a few minutes. That will go in the dishwasher. And then we're going to throw it in. And I'll finish that up. So we're going to throw this in. Now a lot of water is going to cook out of that. So you kind of want to let it cook for a few minutes, but you just added a whole bunch of veggies. So we're going to add a little bit more salt. This is how I cook at home, by the way. It looks like a total explosion. And look, Jen's cleaning up. Who said Missy? Oh, is that eggplant? It's eggplant, yellow squash, zucchini. Did you peel the eggplant? I did peel the eggplant, because I don't like the purple, ugly looking peel that's on it. Now knives. How many of you have a knife that you have in your kitchen, you use it for everything, you wouldn't trade it for anything? And that's pretty typical in a group like this. Usually you find like 2 or 3 people, but it's what you're using the most. 88% of your time in the kitchen is that slicing, that dicing, that mincing, that prepping, getting things ready. And most of you are using a knife that's no sharper than a butter knife to try to do that stuff with. You need a good sharp knife, so if you don't leave here with anything else tonight, it's a good sharp knife to use in your kitchen. We have 2 options. What you see me using is my favorite. Page 34 is where you'll see this. This is our fully forged German steel cutlery. It's like your cookware. Lifetime guaranteed. You almost don't need to say anything more. Super, super sharp. But when people use it, what they say is, oh my gosh, that's so easy. And you would think once you could use a knife, you could use a knife, right? But that's not the case. Because when you pick this up, oh, escapee. When you pick this up, what you're going to see is that it's really heavy. That's what you want. And when you hold it in the middle, you want that perfect balance. Because it gives the head the same weight as that's back in the handle that's back in your hand. So it feels like an extension of your hand. Just nice, sharp, going through. You feel like you have ninja cutting skills with this baby, that's for sure. Just don't hold it back here. Too much wiggly, you're going to end up cutting something off that shouldn't be cut off. So you want to kind of cinch up on it, you want to pinch the knife. This is how you're going to use it, a little Santoku knife. Now this one is exactly the same knife, but it's green, and it's on page 40, and the difference is this. It's like shopping for olive oil. Well, olive oil, there's a $10 bottle, there's a $6 bottle, there's a $2 bottle. You figure out, number one, what fits in your budget. You figure out, number two, what kind of quality do you want. That's the difference in these. The difference is lifetime guarantee, 1-year guarantee. A little over $50, a little over $20. You just have to figure out what fits in your budget. But this is still a really, really great knife, you guys. People I've had, I happy get them. They've had them for 8 years and they're still loving them. Get our multi-blade sharpener and you can sharpen that baby right up. But if you want something you're going to buy once, never have to replace again, you want to get yourself the top of the line, the forged cutlery. The cheapest way to buy this is to get it as a set. And you'll see that at the bottom of page 34. You get all 9 knives. You get a pair of our shears. Thank you so much. You get the honing tool. And it saves you money by buying it as a set. It's still a heart-stopping $460, which is still a bargain, but host a show, you can always get it at half price. So that's the second reason that people host shows with me. They want the knives. They want them on their counter, just like Pauline has over here, because it looks really cool, or they love cutlery, so check those out. So in your recipe, this is where you have to kind of decide what you're going to do here. We're going to add between a half of a cup and 1 cup of chicken or vegetable broth. And you just kind of want to see how much water cooks out of this. This doesn't have very much, but I'm going to start with about a half of a cup of vegetable broth. I'm going to use those easy read measure cups. Ooh, you have 3 in the set. Looks like this. 4 cup, 2 cup, and 1 cup. Any liquids, they are not solid and dry measure cups. So if you're using solids and dries and you tell me you hate this, well of course you do. Because it's not meant for solids, it's liquids. And they're that top read, like that colander. So I'm going to be able to stand right here. I'm going to be able to see when I have it full to the 1 cup. Actually, this we're going to just use about a half a cup, maybe 2/3 of a cup. If it needs to go into the microwave, it's microwave safe, it's dishwasher safe, and then they all stack to store so they don't take up a lot of room. This guy came along later, and it's the perfect one for when you're doing tablespoons of something. You know, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3 tablespoons of oil, and you're like, 1, and then it sloshes over, and you're like, that's already like 6 tablespoons right there all together. This one will let you go up to 4 tablespoons at once, down to a half. On this side, it's 2 ounces, so that's the Pampered Chef shot glass, so you have your official shot glass. A 1/4, an 1/8, and a 1/16 of a cup. When you have double or triple recipes, you'll get this kind of weird things here, these weird measurements, and it's here. You buy it by the Easy Read Mini Measure Cup. So we're going to kind of let that little guy come up to boil. Now, does anybody know when you cook meat, which we did, we cooked some chicken. When you cook meat, what's the next step?
Allowing it to rest.
Let it rest. The other night, this lady yells out, "Eat it!" Yes, we're going to eat it, but we're going to let it rest. So we're going to use our small stainless steel bowl here. And we've had our chicken over here resting. We're going to chop our chicken up, and we're going to use this little tool. And this is called the salad choppers, but I hardly ever use it for salad. The idea behind this tool, it has 2 micro-serrated blades and a scoop. You throw in a wedge of lettuce, whole carrots, baby carrots, whole mushrooms, chunks of green pepper, and you just get down in your bowl. You're going to chop up your salad. Or if you use bagged lettuce, yuck, but you might, put it in. They leave it really big so you can chop it up and chop that up. But I call them in our house the chicken choppers. And I love it for chopping chicken because you can get right down in. You can start chopping up your chicken, your roast beef for Italian beef, your pork loin for carnitas. So we kind of use them as meat choppers in our house. Lifetime guarantee that micro-serrated blade should never need sharpening, so you don't have to worry about that. But if anything ever happens, you get a lifetime guarantee on them. You can dishwasher these, and when you do tomatoes, or my mom likes to do her strawberry shortcake, she chops up her strawberries with this. You can just throw them in the dishwasher. They're going to clean up great. When you do meat, there's kind of a little pre-prep that you need to do. And this dual-headed cleaning brush is awesome for that. Looks like I call it the Pampered Chef toothbrush. Do not brush your teeth with it, it will rip your gums up. But you're going to use the picker end, and you're going to pick the chicken out, and then I brush it just a little bit because meat tends to stick right here. And then when you dishwasher, it dries in here. And then you just throw the brush and the salad choppers right in the dishwasher. But remember that mix and chop we talked about? Anybody who ever is at a show, I pull out the mix and chop in the back, because I was a teacher, remember I have eagle ears, you'll hear somebody when you pull it out occasionally, they'll go, "I hate that thing." And I know exactly why they hate it, so I call them out. I'm like, "You hate it, really?" And they're shocked that I heard them. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I hate it, and I know why they hate it, and I know what they're going to say." And I always say, "Well, why do you hate it?" And they're like, "I hate it because it's so hard to clean." So the dual-headed cleaning brush is what you need, and you're just going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, throw them both in the dishwasher, cleans up, you don't have to worry about it. So that's our chicken. We're going to stir that in. We're going to finish off with 2 really great ingredients. Nice, fresh ingredients. You can't fudge on these. You don't want to go to your pot and add in some dried basil, because that's going to make this nice, fresh, wonderful, healthy dish taste really gross. And the other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to trot to your recipe and pour in your Kraft sawdust in a bottle. You know what that is, right? Parmesan cheese. We're going to use fresh basil, fresh Parmesan. And I just took our basil, pulled it off the woody stems, put it in one of our 1-cup prep bowls. These come in 1-cup size, 2-cup size, 3-cup size. They have measurements, lids for storage, microwave safe, oven safe, measuring, melting, mixing, storing, whatever you want to use them for. They're perfect. But I just put my herbs down in there, and then you could use your salad choppers if you want. I use our shears, and these are our scissors for your kitchen. It's to take the place of those ones that have Elmer's glue, raffia, glitter, hair, duct tape, all those yucky things that come out of scissors. And then we get them out and we use them. But these are great because they go in your dishwasher. So they clean up and they sanitize. I cut whole chickens up. I like to snap chicken wings apart like they do at Buffalo Wild Wings. So I like mine to be chopped, snapped in half with that. I cut up meat for stir fry. So opening packages of cereal. Yes, the question is why does cereal not come in Ziploc bags still? I don't get it. But they're great for your fresh herbs. And I just put them down in a bowl and just start snipping and snapping. Another great tool, remember we talked about the multi-blade sharpener for your knives, it also sharpens these up. So if you ever feel like these get dull, it works perfectly on your professional shears, it works on your manual food processor, and it works on your food chopper. So we're going to stir that in. And everybody says, well, how sharp are those? And I was just showing you, you can snip right through that with like no problem. And then we're going to use, and you've probably seen me up here using our flexible mats. We have awesome cutting boards. And if you want to keep your knives in really awesome shape, you need to get a great cutting board. They go hand in hand. Number 1 reason that people have dull knives is because you're cutting on the wrong surface. Number 2 reason is because you're dishwashering your knives. So you want to make sure you're cutting on something with give to it. It shows cut marks, but it doesn't absorb bacteria, odor, color. That's our cutting boards, page 35. But if I'm honest with you, this is what I bring to a show because this is what I use at home the most. You have it all cut up with your veggies, whatever. You turn it up like this, right into your bowl or skillet, pop it to your dishwasher, and you get 3 of them. So they don't take up a lot of space. You have 3 options to use. So that's the flexible cutting mat. And then we have, if I can get it out from under my disaster, the small flexible cutting mat. And this is what we're going to grate our cheese on. So this is great for smaller jobs, but don't make it your only cutting board. You'll find yourself cutting off of it on big jobs. And we're going to grate up some Parmesan using this. But let's do a little honesty check. How many of you buy pre-shredded, bagged, ready to go lettuce? Yeah, why do we do it?
It's easy.
Yes, it's easy, it's convenient. In all the shows that I've asked that question in, no one has ever said, Missy, I buy it because it's cheaper, because it's not. It's more expensive to make somebody else do the work for you. And I always thought, I love fresh grated cheese, but it was a pain. But if I could find a great way to grate it, no pun intended, then I would grate my own cheese. We have 3 options for you. The first one's page 44. I call it the Olive Garden grater. They call it the rotary grater. The Olive Garden grater is put your chunk of cheese in, you turn it, it grates all cheeses, soft and hard. It grates chocolate, it grates nuts, zucchini, ginger, anything you need to grate. But if you had to do this for a long time on big blocks of cheese, your arm would be ready to fall off. That's when I switched to these types of graters. This is called our microplane grater, and it's the microplane fine grater. This is for hard cheeses like we're going to use today, like Parmesan cheese, Asiago, Romano, zesting a lemon, lime, or orange, grating nuts, grating chocolate. You can grate nutmeg on here, ginger. You can use it in a couple of ways. You're going to open this guy up, and you can go right over everybody's little plate. You can do this. Turn it into its little teepee, and you can grate like this. If you're afraid of this, because it is super, super sharp, you're afraid you're going to slip and then grate yourself, then you just get yourself a little cheese shuttle. Put the cheese shuttle on. Cut off a manageable size piece. Pop it in. This goes on, and that way you can grate from here, and if your hand slips, all you're going to be doing is hitting this part instead of grating up your fingers. This is also perfect, the cheese shuttle, for when you do nuts, when you do ginger, when you do garlic, and at home you're left with this. What do you do with it?
Eat it.
Eat it. It's rude for me to eat this in front of you, so I put it here. Hardest part of my job is not eating that and not doing this. Hardest part right there. So you have this nice, finely grated Parmesan. This is what your zest looks like from lemons, limes, and oranges.